there is a gap in those trees that my parents' friend wanted to check out. We went and did so, and claims he saw what could be described as similar to how you'd imagine Bigfoot. The rest of the group was about half the clearing away when we noticed him slowly backing up. Eventually, we're together again and decided to head onto the actual trail. We get fully up the hill and near that rock, and before we can continue further, everyone stops. Something seems to be following us. If I had to guess, it was what my parents' friend saw. Right after, said friend looks into the trees and notices the black dog looking at him. He speaks to it, something along the lines of, "Hello, old friend, been a while since I've seen you." So I received a terrifying story, and typically when I receive stories, I will either put them on my TikTok channel or I will group them into a storytime video here. But I feel like this video deserves its own video. It's really long, it's really fascinating, and I just thought I'd give you guys a second video this week. So get comfy, grab a snack, and let's get into this very terrifying tale. Hey Morgan, not much for me to say this time, so I'll get right into the story if that's okay. I will, as usual, be trying to write this in a fun, dramatic story, but I assure you it's real. Update, gave up on the dramatic part. Also, wow, this was longer than expected. We all know the woods are haunted. Well, most of us anyways. Most of what haunts the woods we're told to ignore. If you see it, no you didn't. If you hear it, no you didn't. And if it says your name, do not respond. But what if you were to look? What if you tried to find it? I know what would happen if you looked for the inhabitants of one specific place. I can't speak for every haunted trail, and I'm absolutely not telling you to go stare down the quote-unquote Wendy's employees. But the one I know certainly enjoys welcoming its guests. To truly give you an idea of these creatures, I have to first map the area. Both locations will be important. The place I know best is a parking lot. You park and you start walking, crossing over train tracks. To your right is a train station, and to your left is a large, beautiful lake. You pass both of these and walk uphill on a twisting trail and find yourself in the woods. You can go forward, the path bends off to the left. You could also go off trail to the right. There you'll find a rock, and behind it a small reasonable bag with a wooden carving on it. If I can find the picture I took of it, I will send it to you. I want to see the picture. Some places near there, though, I don't remember exactly what direction it's in. In a wide parking lot on the start of another trail, in front of the lot is a field, and on the right side of that lot is the start of that trail. It leads over a small and very old bridge with a river running under it. Beside that river is one of two ways you can go from there. Upon entry into the woods, you can find three things. 1, nothing immediately. 2, a thick black fog-like energy pushing you out. 3, a dog. There are 3 dogs, one possibly with another form. The first is black and prefers to watch from the trees, rarely getting close. The second is gray and is kind of the middle ground. This one will get closer to you, but I have yet to see it on the trail. The third is white and is by far the most social. The white one seems like it is either connected to or another form of a lady in white. The woman is followed by, or rather, she seems to create fireflies as she walks. If you find nothing, great. If you find the fog, leave. If you find a dog or multiple of them, pay attention. I see the dogs as sort of guardians, and the fog as a more stern warning. Though I'm not certain about it and just don't think it's related. My father claims to have recorded an EVP here saying Leshy, just something worth mentioning. Or Leshy. It's Leshy. Now finally, my absolute favorite experience. The trail was the place I'd wanted to visit constantly, and honestly I still do. I talked about it enough that I interested one of my friends in coming along, and so eventually with my parents and friend of theirs, as well as my friend, we went. By this point, I had known plenty about the place, from the stories my parents had told about what the dogs were all about. This story unfortunately doesn't start off with spirits, but we'll get there. When we started up the hill and onto the trail, everything seemed to want to go off to an open area close to the lake, to the left where I personally was interested in. We head into the area, and though I don't have a good guess for exactly how large it is, you could walk across it probably around a minute. On the far left side from the group, there is a gap in those trees that my parents' friend wanted to check out. We went and did so, and claims he saw what could be described as similar to how you'd imagine Bigfoot. The rest of the group was about half the clearing away when we noticed him slowly backing up. Eventually, we're together again and decided to head onto the actual trail. We get fully up the hill and near that rock, and before we can continue further, everyone stops. Something seems to be following us. If I had to guess, it was what my parents' friend saw. Right after, said friend looks into the trees and notices the black dog looking at him. He speaks to it, something along the lines of, "Hello, old friend, been a while since I've seen you." Pretty immediately, that's what I don't want to call a feeling or a suggestion, but a warning. Leave. The group eventually does start to leave calmly, and all 3 of the dogs are there just past the tree line like some kind of escort. They guide us out, one of them suddenly appearing on the other side as we neared the start of the trail. My friend unfortunately claims to have felt or even noticed not a thing, but everyone else knows what happened was real. This isn't where the story ends. We get back to the parking lot and I look back. The gray dog was sitting on the path between the tracks and the parking lot at a bend. We get to the car and went to that second location I mentioned. My parents and their friends got out of the car to talk and smoke, while I sat back with the door open listening. My friend was, for whatever reason, in the trunk behind the back seat. Why is the true mystery of this story. I look around, still feeling something I couldn't quite put my finger on, and there they were, standing off to the right beside the path. The black dog, and near him, the woman in white. My parents' friends noticed the dog, but I don't think he ever mentioned the woman. Either way, we eventually took a walk just past the bridge. My mother and friends staying behind on the other side of said bridge. My father and his friend told me that they saw something there by the river. Whatever we were being protected from, it followed us. We left soon after, and the story ends there. Since then, I haven't been back to the lake after dark, but I have been at the sunset to take pictures. I plan on going back just as soon as the weather warms up a bit. When I went to take pictures, I think there was something that wanted me to stay off the trail that time because I took them just at the start of it and I left right after. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. That sounds like such a magical place. And I want to see all of the pictures of everything and I want to visit and I am so intrigued. Let me go back because I was reading that from my notes. Let me see if they mentioned where it was or actually sent a picture. So I went back and looked. They unfortunately did not add pictures, but I will film an update if they do because I'm sure you guys want to see this woodsy area as much as I do. But I literally have no thoughts on what that could be. I don't think there's anything malicious. I think they just really like you. But yeah, that's what I'm picking up. I think it's a magical little area where just a lot of things are coexisting and it makes me happy to think about it. But that is all for right now. I know this is like kind of shorter for a YouTube video, but it was a long story and hope that's okay. But I will see you guys in a few days to read a jumble of follower stories. All right, bye.